We're good over here. How are we doing over here? Yeah. Good, great. So in the interest of time, I don't know about you, but I got some things to do a little bit later on tonight, some fun things. I'm going to keep this a little bit on the short side, but still make sure I hit all my main points. First of all, I'm glad to be here. And when I was thinking a little bit, when Tel asked me to come and give a talk about how do you overcome fear, how do you communicate confidence, if you're up trying to give a pitch, how do you make sure your body language is appropriate, body language really stood out to me. So before I jump in to say what I want to say, I want you to tell your neighbor your definition of what nonverbal communication means to you, or what body language means to you. So go ahead, find a neighbor. If you don't know who they are, this is a great way to get networking, and just tell them your thoughts. I see. All right, take your attention back up here. See lots of smiling faces. That's good. All right, Michael, I may need your class. All right. Great. What intrepid soul do we have in the room that wouldn't mind telling us all what you told your neighbor? What is body language to you? Any bold people in here? As your hand should be going up. Oh, yay! What do you have to say?
Body language is everything. It tells how positive you are, how outgoing you are. Are you friendly? Are you balanced? Because I can be angry and I can be happy. So
absolutely great. I love that. That's actually where I was going a little bit. Anybody else? Anything you want to add to that? Yeah, go ahead.
What my neighbor told me, 2/3 of communication, and 27% is the tone, and 6% is what you actually say.
Nice. Yeah. How's my tone working out for you right now? Good. Yeah. So tone is important. Facial expressions are important. Body positioning is important. It is rather essential when it comes to communicating and connecting with other people. I actually am curious to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, for those of you here today, just take a moment and think, 10 being absolutely essential and 1 being meh, give or take. How important is body language on a day-to-day basis? 10 being yay and 1 being not so much. Anyone have any thoughts? How important do you think it might be?
10.
Oh, Tel thinks it's a 10. Or, yeah, I can see that for sure. Okay, yeah. It's actually really, really important. So one more last exercise, and then I'll start talking a little bit more. Take a moment and think right now. We've already established what body language is by a couple volunteers, how important it might be, but what does it look like for you? If someone were to meet you, if you were to get up and give a pitch of some sort, if you were desperate for a job and you were going in for that interview, how would you want people to remember you? Think of 3 words that would be ideal. Yeah, when I leave, I want people to think this, this, and this. Think about it, and then turn to your nice neighbor and tell them your idealized version of how you want people to remember you. Go ahead and go. Their 3 words. This is your moment. What were your words? Thanks. Go ahead.
Confident, intelligent, and capable.
I like it. Confident, intelligent, and capable. Very nice. Anybody else? Tel, what were your words?
I just told you before.
Well, doesn't count. Nobody heard.
High energy.
High energy?
Yeah, that's number 1. Happy.
Happy?
And humorous.
Humorous. Very nice. Anybody else? What about a lady in here? You're not a lady, but go ahead.
You deserve a big fat paycheck.
Oh, very nice. She's cut to the chase there. Any ladies in here? What words did you have? Sarah.
Confident, smart, and happy.
Very nice. Cool. Mine's always friendly, approachable, and somewhere along the lines of funny, humorous, easy to talk to, something like that. Great. So that's how we see ourselves when we're at our very best. But I got to tell you, when you go into the office every day, are you at your very best? Or do we sometimes have the Monday blues? Am I alone? Okay, I see someone nodding. Yeah. So think about yourself on an average day. How do you think you actually come across? The idealized self is great. If we lived in our idealized state psychologically all the time, nothing would stop us, right? But sometimes things do stop us. So how do you suppose you come across on an average day-to-day basis? I won't ask you to share that because that's rather personal. But think about it. A couple of words. How do you think you might come across? And the last part of this exercise, also personal, is how we respond under stress. Am I the only one that sometimes gets a little bit stressed out? Okay, a couple people are honest. We're a couple honest souls in here. Sometimes life throws us a curveball and we get a little bit stressed. When that tends to happen, what I've noticed, my degrees in psychology, is that our brain turns the opposite energy out of what our idealized self wants to be. For me, I withdraw every time. My little friendly, energetic, woo, everybody likes me, we're all so happy, suddenly dies and I go inside as far as energy goes. So take a moment and think about, how do you respond to stress? How does that actually impact you? If you can figure out those 3 levels of who you are and how your body language communicates, you can start to intentionally go from the bottom and work your way up to the top, because the top is our idealized self, who we want to be. So now I want to ask you another question. When we think about body language, we have our facial expressions, right? We have our physical body, or our mirroring positioning, right? We also have some of those energetic things as well. Can I have someone come up? I want to have a sort of a guinea pig. I'm vegan, so we don't do guinea pigs. Can I have a brave volunteer come up here? I want to try something out with you. It'll be fun. I'll be up here with you. It'll be fine. He's been voluntold. Okay, we'll do the voluntold route. Okay. So, I'm going to tell him something in his ear that only he knows, and he's going to demonstrate it, and then I want you to tell me what his body language is actually communicating. You cool with that? Are you a good actor? Try. I should have probably, staged this, but I have to keep it real. Okay, so come here, I'm going to tell you something. Okay, so go ahead, demonstrate.
Anger, frustrated.
I heard anger, excited, frustrated. Do it one more time. Okay, any other thoughts? Jackpot, big victories. Okay, what were you actually demonstrating?
Anger.
Anger, right? Okay. Good, nice. So yeah, what was his body doing? Okay, one more. Just one more. Okay.
You got some problems, dude.
All right, one more. Go ahead. Woohoo! What does that mean? Excited, happy, right? Okay, what was his face doing? What's the difference between the two?
He said, ooh.
Yeah, verbalize something. What was his actual face doing? What was the difference? In the first one, what was his expression? He was grimacing. He must be well-bred. I like that word. Grimacing. What else? In the second one, what was his face doing? Smiling. He was happy. So facial expression is important. How did his body move, the first one compared to the second one? In the first one, what would you do the first time?
He was hunched over.
He was hunched over. He was more closed off, right? In the second one, what'd you do? You open. We opened up, right? So if you're in a big money moment and you would like someone to invest in you or to take a listen to what you have to say, which one might they be more prone to be drawn to, Mr. Closed or Mr. Open? Obviously, Mr. Open, right? But again, if we've already identified, hey, when I'm under stress, this is how the 3 things my body language happens to do, this is how I perform, then we can actually intentionally work to change that. It all kind of ties together a little bit. Good. One more, just for kicks. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Impatient.
Did you hear what I said? Do you have supersonic hearing? Okay, impatient. Good, thank you. All right, go ahead and have a seat. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. So body language sometimes, yes, give around. So body language sometimes, from my experience, gets overlooked. It gets downplayed. It's like, come on, I'm 33. I know about body language. Thank you very much. But it actually is very, very important. If we're not self-aware, if we're not taking a self-awareness assessment, then what are we running on? If we're not running on intention, then what is it? One more time. Instinct. One more time. Perception. What about habit? Yeah, also we're running on habit, and sometimes those habits can start to control us. Who in here actually wants to be controlled by something other than their mind and their intentional emotions? Anybody? Probably not, so keep that in mind as we move on through. Open body language, facial expressions, setting an intention for yourself, all of these things are very, very important. Let's pause on body language and move to one other concept, and then I'll wrap up. Conflict and conflict resolution. Who in here has ever been in a conflict with someone? Okay, we got more honest people in here. Awesome, good. Why do conflicts arise? One more time. The lady here?
Oh, that's a different perspective.
Different perspectives, what'd you say?
Same thing.
Same thing, anything else? Different perspectives, what else? Human nature, yes. What else? Over here? Different goals, I like it, good. When it comes to conflict and conflict resolution, guess what? It's all psychological. We're humans. I'll never think the way you think. I may want to, but I never can. Tel and I are twins, but we're a little different here and there, right? There we are. And so I can never exactly understand his perspective the way he intends it, just by going off of what my own brain says, because even though we're similar, we still have those differences too. So if you find yourself, or I should say, when you find yourself in conflict, it's important to understand a couple of basic things, okay? And these are all psychological, very basic. Number one, do not assume that it's personal. Do not assume that it's about you. Actually, research suggests most of the time it's about them, not you. And you can just insert me in your shoes and they'd still be in conflict because it's them. It's their issue. Also, that's one. Number two, choose your battles. Have you ever been up against someone where you know they're not going to change, and yet you still try to make them? You still try to go, I'm going to influence you to think my way. Why is that a losing battle? Any thoughts? Why? Because it is. It's a waste of your time, right? So if someone comes to me and says, Sheena, you don't need to smile so much. You smile 15 times per second, and I think you should smile 5 times per second, and they influence that upon me, do you think it's actually going to make a difference? Probably not. It's a losing battle. I am who I am. I decide what I decide, who I'm going to be, and that's just the way that it is. So keep that in mind too. When we start to personalize things, when we start to influence people, it's just going to lead frustration into our lives. Who in here actually wants to be frustrated? Good. Honest people. No hands. We don't. So choose your battles. Know when to just leave it alone. Now, am I just saying, you know what? Let people be who they are. Let them run over you. Let them influence you in such a way that you're grumpy. You don't want to go to work. Of course not. My final point, it again is psychological. Self-awareness. Know who you are. Know what thoughts are going in your mind. Again, you might be thinking, hello, I'm 50 years old. Of course I know my thoughts. Most of us actually don't think about what we're thinking about. And if we can start to do that, guess where the control goes back to? Me, not the person I'm in conflict with. It's me. And I don't know about you, but I really like feeling powerful. And I really like going to work and being around people and knowing at the end of the day, you can't push my buttons, Michael. You may try, but you can't. Why? Because I've already done a self-awareness check and I know me. And I've also assessed you, and I know I can't change you, so I'm just going to focus on what I can change, okay? Any questions? That was very abbreviated, but hey, time's running out. Any thoughts? Did you guys have a good time? Yeah. Good. Did you maybe think some new thoughts? Good. Keep in mind those early exercises that we did. They're very minor, but they actually have a really big difference if you practice them. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.